Not a lot of people like to discuss film or television or music or whatever with me because I'm one of those he hates everything guys. Darren hates everything. Darren nitpicks everything. I've had to watch season 7 of Game of Thrones basically by myself because I find myself yelling at the screen constantly. While that series is at the top of its game and with action scenes and special effects, the writing has gone downhill really bad. Really shitty writing in season 7. But one thing that I've found fascinating, and one thing you can't say I hate, is how many people have you encountered out there who are really upset about season 3 of Rick and Morty? They hate it. They think it sucks. They think the writing has gone downhill. And sorry to be a snobby, rude and snarky guy about it, but you don't get it. It's quite possible you never understood this show. And yes, the show has changed dynamics, and a lot of people don't like change. But I think if you don't like season 3 of Rick and Morty, it's, to be a hipster, you don't get it. You don't understand what's going on in the show. See, the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty were a commentary and partially a satire of nihilism. Nihilism is nothing means anything. There is no meaning, there is no ultimate justice, there's no meaning to anything. And Rick is a character who's shown that. The whole commentary nihilism is through him. If Morty dies, he gets a new Morty. If his family dies, he can get a new family. If he ruins an entire universe, he can go get a new universe. Now, some people claim that Rick and Morty is about absurdism. Those people don't know what absurdism means. Sorry to be a snob again. Absurdism is nothing matters, so you shouldn't even bother interacting with the universe. You shouldn't even try. You should just give up and go with the flow. Rick is not a leaf on the fucking tempest of fate, alright? And neither is Morty, so the show is not absurdism. A show that's more absurdist is actually a show like maybe SpongeBob or Rocko's Modern Life or one of those hapless protagonist type shows where he's constantly at the mercy and the whims of the plot as he's just tossed around and has no real power to do anything. And anything he does do is by accident. That's absurdism. Nihilism is just nothing matters, so fuck everything. And that's what Rick is. But season 3 has changed all that. See, season 3 has started becoming more introspective. And there's more going on with the characters. It's about a family that's torn apart by its own dysfunction and characters having to come to grips with how unhappy they are and how much they don't like themselves. The whole last episode with Summer getting turned into a big giant monster and shit, that was because she didn't like herself. The toxicity episode where was it Rest in Rick's Laxation or whatever? They're split off from each other, but you find out the twist isn't there's a good and evil Rick. It's the difference between what the characters think are positive traits in themselves and what they think are their worst character defects. This is why Rick is, split off from his homicidal tendencies and shit, but that doesn't mean that he's split off from his ambition, because his good passive character still acts and is ambitious. And toxic Morty is just a coward, because Morty hates how much of a coward he is. That's why good Morty is so active and confident and motivated. Alright? It's a psychological character study. That's what's going on. Everyone's like, oh, season 3 is so dumb. It's just, dude, Pickle Rick is a meme. Did you understand why he turned himself into a pickle? Did you understand what was going on at all? Pickle Rick was happy to, as a pickle, fucking go to battle with fucking rats in a sewer, work his way up into a fucking like CIA office building and do laser combat with Secret Service. But the reason why he was a pickle in the first place is because he couldn't even bear the fucking thought of going to therapy and facing himself in the goddamn mirror. This is actually not that esoteric or hidden or highbrow like the nihilism. This is actually pretty accessible. You should honestly feel pretty fucking dumb if you don't get what's going on. And I can understand if you don't dig psychology, and I can even get if you have no frame of reference for it and don't understand codependency, addiction, avoidance behavior. You don't understand any of this shit. Fine. But it's literally, you don't get it. The show is still wicked smart. The show is still moving along, and quite frankly, the show has more of an episodic linearity where characters are actually starting to go through arcs. Summer goes through an arc in the Mad Max land. Morty is going through multiple arcs. Even Jerry got an episode where he learns how to stand up for himself. I can almost guarantee you that the next episode is going to be about the mom dealing with how much of a vindictive bitch she is and how much she doesn't like herself. All right? How she's tied her whole identity around the one or two things she's good at, and whenever she's not allowed to be a fucking horse surgeon, she's fucking miserable and hates herself and takes it out on everyone around her. She even was just as resistant to the therapy as Rick was, telling the fucking therapist to fuck you when the therapist had her pinned down, like, in your face with, like, here's your fucking deal. And she's like, yeah, fuck you. This is characters refusing to deal with themselves. This is actually a really smart show, and none of you get it. You're all just focused on memes, you're focused on Pickle Rick, you're focused on Szechuan sauce, and quite frankly, yeah, I'm better than you. You are garbage. Don't even watch the show, because you don't even understand it, alright? So you can talk shit about the show all you want, but you don't get to talk shit about the show like you're a fan being let down. No, you're a normie who doesn't get it. Thanks for watching.